These are basically, they're in the 1950s. The Rikou motorcycle is actually a Harley clone made in Japan. Harley started building copies of VLs and 45s in Japan probably in the early 30s, and they continued. I don't know if these were certainly made in post-Japan because these are 1950s, but actually they're 45s. They have a glide front end, which is, kind of like a Hydroglide. Brake is similar to a Springer, to a 45. So it's an amalgam of different things. They got the headlights, 7-inch, glide style handlebars. This one is hand shift. And he's got oval floorboards that say Rikou instead of Harley. This one's foot shift with like a ratchet. So dash panel more like a panhead because this is the 50s. They have an amp gauge, but extra cooling fins around the heads. So I guess the thing would be tubular rear stand. There's so much similar to a Harley, but at the same time, there wouldn't be any parts that are interchangeable, I believe. Even the twist grips, I don't know a lot of the, the components. Of course, like the Glide has got like these big hex nuts, versus the other ones. So they certainly look like Harleys, but, they're not. They got the Glide fender, which is a Harley design. They have that. But Rikou certainly went into the 50s. And I think they had a twin also that was similar to a panhead. Somebody had put the Harley Davidson, the badge, 20th century, but I believe this might be from Rikou. I don't know how much connection they had to do with Harley, although when you see the triple tree cover again, same shape as Harley, general design the same, but then it's one-piece sheet metal. So as much as they're the same, they are different. In fact, these being late model 45s, they have an early cam cover design with the points, not in a distributor, the points are flush to the case, more like an RL. Tappet blocks, same. Of course, the carburetor, you can't see the carburetor from here. It's certainly not a Linkert carb. Frame, again, similar as far as the construction and the length, probably the wheelbase. Of course, the neck is already, they have a Timken bearing, I believe, already. So Harley didn't have a Timken on the 45 until 1958. So again, here's a Tombstone taillight, but not the Tombstone taillight that we know. It's a sheet metal cover over a light. So, a lot of differences considering if you go piece by piece. Similar, but that would be it from a distance. Kicker pedal, they got the, I don't know if that's a hand clutch. Yeah, so they had a hand clutch. They were originally because they made them under license during the 1930s. We'd have to look and see where Rikou ended up in the later years. I don't know if they had any connection to Harley by then. But of course, all these designs and everything by the 1950s were all obsolete, and none of it's really, certainly there was no patents on anything and or copyrights on any of the designs. So, but that's more of the story. I think there's certainly more information out there. But again, these dust covers and these Hydroglide stripes, they look familiar. Certainly, steering damper. They got the oval hole for the wiring and the cables, internal throttle. Guys even got Rikou grips on it, so they had their grips. 16-inch rim, similar. The hub is kind of like a star hub, but we don't know underneath that, underneath the hubcap. But the trying to see here, I think it's actually a star hub. Yeah, the hub is similar, same shape, rear wheel speedometer drive. So, but they have the drive on the side, more like a British bike. They didn't have the one going into the backing plate. Of course, the backing plate seems the same diameter, but a different construction. I don't know about the gear ratios and everything. Pipes very similar. The head design and the way the ports exit, that's the same. So very close, but nothing interchangeable. Hard to believe they made every part from scratch, but close enough for the eye when you look at it. Kind of looks like a Harley.